Good morning, everybody. I hope that you are having a great day. I am about to make a chicken Alfredo casserole. This is one of our family favorites. I developed this recipe about 3 years ago, and I have to say it has been a hit with everyone that I've ever served it to. And today I am bringing this casserole over to a good friend of ours, and that's Linda and Donald Strickland. I'll tell you more about them in just a few minutes. Before we get started, let's make sure that our Facebook is up and going. Give me a shout out. Let me know that you're with me today, and we're going to start cooking. Let me just put this right over here. That way I can hopefully see some of your comments. Let me know who's with me. I want to see. Let's see. There we go. Hey, Pamela. Appreciate you. Okay. Now, y'all, I'm sorry. I heard on the news this morning that we're going into ragweed season, and my nose knows it. You know, the nose knows. Well, anyway, just fun stuff in the fall, you have to say. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is make our sauce for this chicken Alfredo. And this is one of the times when you want to use the jar. I've got a 3-ingredient homemade Alfredo sauce, and y'all, it is out of this world. But for this particular recipe, the jar works really well, and we're going to boost it up. Now, I'm going to pour this right into my bowl, and I'm going to tell you about an option. Hey, Lori. Hey, Miss Penny. I'm sorry, I don't see well without my glasses. Now, let's see here. Let me grab a spatula or a spoon real quick. Gonna need that. Now, I'm going to boost this up just a little bit, and I'm going to give you an option. You can use 2 jars of this Alfredo sauce if you don't want to do what I'm about to do, but I'm going to stretch this jar, and I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of heavy cream, and that's going right back into the jar. And then I'm adding a 1/2 cup of sour cream. Now listen, for those of you that are not sour cream lovers, you cannot taste the sour cream in this. It just blends with the cheese and really works all together for this dish. Now, if you just say, I absolutely in no way can do sour cream, add 4 ounces of softened cream cheese, and that works really well. Or, like I said, go with the 2 jars of the Alfredo sauce. Okay, now I'm going to hit this with a little bit of salt. Not much, just a good, healthy pinch. Not too much, because this is what we're going to do. You know that wonderful canned or shelf Parmesan cheese? It is perfect for this, because remember, in our Alfredo, we have Parmesan, we have the butter, and we have the cheese. That's all it is, y'all. Now, I'm going to add about 1/4 cup to this, and mine, y'all, got a little toasted. It's delicious. Another story for another day, but it is perfectly good and delicious and has so much flavor. Let me just clean this up because I don't want to make a mess. Actually, I already did, but you know, I want to clean up as I go. That's what my mama taught me, and that's going right back in. I also don't want anything to go to waste. All right, here we go. I'm putting the lid back on, and I want to make sure it's good and tight because I want to eat this, not wear it. And I'm going to give it a good shake. I just want everything to mix together, even though we're going to stir it again. I just kind of want to give it a head start. And that's a good way to get the leftover Alfredo out of the jar. and this is going right in. Now, I don't want to splash. If you want to keep things from splashing on you, pour it on your spoon prior to just pouring it in your bowl. And that'll give you just a little bit of extra protection. I want to get all of this out. There's just a tiny bit left. You know what I may do? I'm just going to sit it upside down here for the moment, because I can add a little bit more as we go. Now I want to just stir this together. Smells so good, y'all. Hey Teresa, hey Diane. And y'all hang on, because I have got a story. You know, I've always got a little bit of a story. But we're going to give it a minute. Let me get started on this. Good. I want to taste it just to make sure that I'm good with the salt. Now, you can add S&P. My husband is not a pea person. He's a salt person. So I usually don't add a lot of black pepper to this. The Alfredo already has a lot of good seasoning in it. But if you'd like a little bit more black pepper or even red pepper to add and just give it a little bit of a kick, by all means, do that. That's perfect. I don't need one bit more salt. Now, I will tell you that I've already made Linda and Donald's casserole, and it's behind me. I just took it out of the oven, and it's resting. And this one, I just made a little bit more because I wanted to bring you along, but I'm actually going to be leaving right after I make this and bringing it over to Linda and Donald. So this one is going to be our dinner tonight. And since Jenny and I don't need a 9 by 13 inch pan of this chicken Alfredo casserole, I'm going a little bit smaller, and this is an 8 by 8. And basically, y'all, we're just layering like a lasagna. As a matter of fact, when I created this recipe years ago and shared it on Facebook and YouTube, I called it a chicken Alfredo lasagna. But then I changed it to a chicken Alfredo casserole, and I think I'm going to stick with that. Now, these are oven-ready lasagna noodles. If you've never used these, they are amazing. You don't have to fool with cooking or boiling them and then pulling them out of the pot and drying them off and having them all over your kitchen. Y'all, if you will cook these properly, and they're very easy to cook, you'll never go back to the old school lasagna noodles again, and that is a promise. Now, what I'm going to do, I've already sprayed my casserole dish with some non-stick cooking spray, and I use the butter kind because, you know, butter is in the Alfredo sauce, so why not gild the lily? Now, I'm going to put just a little bit on the bottom of this casserole dish. Oh boy, I can see a mess about to happen. And I'm not really going with a full layer, but I want to get that sauce all over. So there we go. Easy peasy. And now we're going in with our lasagna noodles. And I'll give you a little tip. I like to double my lasagna noodles. Okay, these are going to fit this way. Just layer them. For Linda's, I doubled my layers, and I used one box of these for a 9 by 13 inch pan, and y'all, that will feed up to 10 people easily. Now, I know they've got a lot of big eaters in their family, so maybe not quite 10, but if you're using a 9 by 13 inch dish, as I have back here, you're going to use the entire box, and what you'll do is just stack these. So I'm going to double them up just because I like a little bit more of that pasta feel. And here we go, back with just a little sauce, not much. We're not adding a full layer. You don't have to spread it all out. The cooking will do that for you. And then we've got chicken. Now, I roasted some chicken breast this morning. I cooked some bone-in, skin-on chicken breast. I roasted them for an hour with olive oil and a little SMP. I took it off the bone, and y'all, there were 3 breasts. It made enough to really pack this casserole that I've made them with chicken, and also leave some for Jimmy and I. Now, you can use leftover chicken easily. I have taken fried chicken that I've had left over, picked it off the bone, discarded the skin, and used the chicken. Y'all, really, whatever you want. A rotisserie chicken would be great with this. Just, the sky's the limit. Oh, I have forgotten one ingredient, and it's one of the key ingredients, which is cheese. Hang on and let me grab this out of the refrigerator. I love this cheese. This is a mozzarella and provolone blend. Oh, y'all, the provolone just gives it so much more flavor than just your average mozzarella. And it's already shredded, which is a win-win for me. And I am just going to put a nice layer over this chicken. Oh, this is some saucy, cheesy goodness right here. Now, for my 9x13, I use the entire package. I'm not sure if I will for hours or not, but we will see. And, ooh, there we go. Come on, you. There we go. Here we go with more noodles. And I'm going to take out a few. Who's with me today? Let me just see if I can, oh yeah, Phyllis, Felicia, Ann, love you all. Here we go. Let's see, I'm just gonna double them up like this. And y'all, we're gonna layer. And as you watch me layer, I'm gonna talk. Now, Donald, Linda's husband, went to school with Jimmy. Donald has a twin named Douglas, Donald and Douglas. And Donald and Douglas and Jimmy were like the 3 Musketeers. I mean, the 3 amigos, whatever you want to say. They went to high school together, and Peggy, Donald's mother, just thinks of Jimmy as another son because he was always at her house. And I'm the newbie to the group because Jimmy and I are going on 7 years together. And listen, y'all, they go way, way back. Jimmy has told me stories about the 3 of them. I have literally been driving in the car while Jimmy is telling a story and tears streaming down my face because I was laughing so hard. You know, 3 high school boys living in the country. Believe me, they have some stories to tell. Some that I could reshare and some that I couldn't. You know, we've all been young once, haven't we? Or maybe you still are. Maybe you're one of the young ones that is joining me today. But I just love them. Donald and Linda have been married going on 42 years. They have just beautiful children. And of course, their children grew up with Jimmy's children, basically like family. And they are just so loved. We've hung out together many times, and I love hanging out with them because they've just got such great stories. And they welcomed me with open arms, and I'm just so blessed. You know, when you're the new one coming in, not everybody can be just welcoming, but they have been, and I love them dearly. Okay, now you see what I'm doing here. I've taken the broth. I save everything when I roast chicken. Everything, y'all. And I always save the broth, and I add that to my casserole. Nothing goes to waste. It's all delicious. It's all good. And I don't want to waste any of this. You know, this may be just a little much for this little dish. And by the way, y'all, this is so easy to freeze. You can bake it ahead of time and freeze it, or you can freeze this just like it is, bring it to room temperature and then bake it, or thaw it out, maybe not room temperature, and bake it. Now we're going for a little bit more cheese. Oh yeah, and I am gonna pile this thing high. I'll put it on a baking sheet, and if it runs over, then I'll just say, thank you, Jesus. My cup or my dish runneth over. Now this is a little bit more of the sauce. I can't remember, I was talking. I don't know if I added sauce or not, so I'm just going to add a little bit more. And again, don't worry about it not being just spread to the edges. This will all come together in the oven. Now I'm adding one last layer of pasta. We're going to finish this off with pasta. I'm going to push it down just a little bit and help it along. There you go. And I am going to just put that right there. Oh, y'all. I'm ambitious today. What can I say? I'm very ambitious. And what I'm going to say is, oh, here's a baking sheet. I'll use this one. Let's see. Here's my done casserole. I'm going to show that to you here in just a minute. But this is going to go on a baking sheet because I can tell that I'm already going to make a mess. So in that goes. I should line my baking sheet. I know I'm in for a good wash later. But that's all. You know what? Let's just do it. Y'all with me? I know you don't want me to wash more dishes than I have to. I can feel your love. So here we go. I love to line things with parchment paper rather than foil. I don't know, I just like it. It's a little bit less expensive. So that's never a bad thing. All right, got that in. And here we go with the remainder of the sauce. Oh yeah. And we do want to cover this pasta completely with the sauce, and we are going to bring this edge to edge. This is one of the important things that you want to remember when you're making this. And let's see. My sink is filled to the max, y'all. I have been cooking all morning long. Now I'm going to bring this to the edges, because what really helps this pasta cook, or these lasagna noodles, is the liquid. So if you have something that's dry, and you know what? I'm just going to break this. Try not to get it on me because I do not want to change my clothes. Linda, if I come to your house and I've got a stained shirt, then you know it's the stains of love, girl. Okay, I'm just going to help this. Put that in. When it all bakes, it's going to be yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay, that's good. Just get all those corners, everything right like that. Oh, I want to lick that spoon so bad, but I'm not going to. And here we go with more cheese. And y'all, we're done. Pretty much. Now I'm going to share, don't leave me. If you feel like you've gotten the recipe, just hang on, because I'm going to share a little something else with you. I want lots of cheese on the top. And y'all, I will be bringing some of this down to my mother. Her sister, my Aunt Gail, has been spending a lot of time with her. My Aunt Gail is not doing well. My Aunt Gail is 8 years older than my mother. And I'm not going to say that Aunt Gail was the reason my mom moved here. The reason my mom moved here is to be closer to me, but also to be closer to her sister. And she's just helping her right now. So I believe Mom will be on next week. I'm really thinking. So for this casserole, I did not use all of this. And there we go. Now, since I'm leaving right now, or not right now, but in a few minutes, and we're going to put together a gift basket or a gift, I'll show you in a minute. I don't even know if I can explain it right, but without showing you. But I'm going to refrigerate this, and when I get home this afternoon, I'll pop it in the oven. We've got visitation tonight. Linda's mother, Annie Pearl, passed away, and that's why I'm making this. And she was 86 and a dear woman. I only got to meet her one time. Jimmy obviously grew up knowing her because Linda and Donald dated in high school, so Jimmy knows her well. And when Jimmy was married to his first wife, they all hung out together. And so anyway, they just were wonderful friends. And again, I'm just so thankful that they welcomed me in with open arms. So we're going to the visitation tonight. I can cook this afternoon, and we'll eat before we go, and we'll have dinner. Now, I know Linda won't mind. I didn't ask her. Linda, if you're watching, which I have a feeling you are, just know that I love you, and I'm doing a little quality control on the dish that I'm bringing you. I think that's a good way to look at it. Now, this cooked for an hour, okay? This is a 9 by 13 inch pan. There are 3 layers of pasta, 2 layers of the chicken, and then I've got a lot of cheese and sauce packed in. And I used the same amount of sauce that I used for the one that I just made. Now, how can I strategically get this out? I'm just gonna, there we go. I don't want much. Now, look. Do you think they'll know that I took some? They don't watch this video. I kind of think they will. Jimmy's motto is, well, if I was there, they'd offer me some. And he's probably right, but I'm telling you, he's threatened a couple of times to take a piece of pound cake or something that I'm bringing to somebody and used that very side. Well, they would offer me some if I was there. No, I'm just making a little bit. Now, I've got some fresh basil. I keep it all the time. I grow it out on my patio. I've got my cooking shears, and I am going to put just a little fresh basil on this. And for those that don't want, let's say, anything green on their food, which, by the way, this is one thing that I was going to share with you. We've got an additive to this. But if people don't like green on their food, it's not baked in. My husband is one of those that looks at this garnish and me, I love a garnish. You know, I cooked professionally for years, and your food is basically naked if you don't have a garnish. We've just got to have that. So a little bit of fresh basil, not too much, but enough. And y'all, another important thing in this is let it rest. You need to let a casserole rest a good 10 or 15 minutes before you cut into it, because if not, everything just is going to kind of splatter and go all over the place. But in that 10 or 15 minutes, everything relaxes and it just does what it's supposed to do, and then you can cut into it and everybody gets their wonderful serving. Okay, let's taste this. Oh my gosh. Oh. 2 bites. Look, I got a little basil. I love this dish. It is so satisfying. It's everything that you want in your chicken Alfredo and more. it feeds a crowd. And y'all, one thing that I forgot to mention, and this is in the recipe, my recipes are always, always, always in the description. If you'll look at the title and you'll press that little opaque see more, press that on, scroll down, you're gonna see some links, because I have lots of people that say, where can I get your earrings, or where can I get your bracelet, or where can I get the top you're wearing? So I've learned just to post the links. That way I'm not spending a whole lot of time on private messenger or responding to comments wanting those. So if it's available for you to get, I share it every single time. So look at that recipe, and the recipe includes these mushrooms. You can add a layer of mushrooms, only one, over the second layer of chicken. And these are fresh mushrooms, and I've added just a little bit of garlic, a little SMP, simmered them in olive oil until they cook down, and y'all, they are divine. But Linda does not like mushrooms. Donald does, but since this is Linda's mama, I thought I would go with Linda today and make it according to the way she likes it. So, okay, y'all, now let's put together this box. I want to show you what I'll be bringing over to them. And y'all, a lot of times I'll put a leaf right on top. A lot of times I'm showing you things that I'm doing because this is real life. You know, this is just how life happens, and I would rather bring you into our lives versus create just an edited video. I just don't have the time to do that right now, nor do I want to, you know, spend for extra ingredients just to make a video. I need to do a few on Facebook, but right now, this is how I roll. So I just, when I'm making something that I think you'll like, I just include y'all. And so this is life. Now I want to show you what we've got here, because I think you're going to like this. I have got just a cookie sheet. And once I get to Linda's, actually I'm going to her mother's house, but once I get there, then we will unload this. And I'm going to put a cover on this chicken Alfredo. Let me move this. Who's still with me? Hey, Debbie and Faye and Elizabeth. I love your name, Elizabeth. It's our family name. It's my mom's name, my grandmother, or my great-grandmother's name, my name, and I am about to have a new great-grandbaby, and guess what her middle name will be? Elizabeth. I'm so proud. So, so proud. Okay, so I've got this covered, and I bought them just some, I love these. They're par-baked baguettes. All you have to do is just pop them in the oven for a few minutes, or even the air fryer, and get them just a little crispy. And for those baguettes, I made some dipping oil rather than use butter. And this is wonderful to drizzle over the top of your chicken Alfredo. I'll show you how I make this someday. It's just got a little bit of Parmesan cheese, garlic, red pepper flakes, salt, pepper, Italian seasoning. It comes together in minutes. Of course, olive oil. And you'll just need to give it a little shake. And you can drizzle that on your bread. You can cut it, drizzle it on the inside, or pour it into a plate, just whatever. I've got the salad, and I've got some homemade ranch dressing. And y'all, I'll give you a little tip. I do a lot of giveaways, okay? I'll go to Hobby Lobby or wherever, and I'll find these little things for maybe $1. So it doesn't break the bank, and I'm not worried about them getting it back to me. It's theirs to keep. But this is an old soy sauce bottle. And I just soak it until I bring the tag off or get the goo or whatever. I put homemade with love, and then I filled this. I keep these. They're great giveaways. So that way you know, more than likely you're not going to get them back, and they don't have to wash dishes. They can just throw it away if they want to. And last, I've got my homemade shortbread cookies. I made these yesterday. These are my cast iron shortbread cookies. I know at funerals, a lot of people bring cakes. You see a lot of store-bought goods, and that's all well and fine. They feed the masses and they fill the belly. But this is just a homemade treat that they can enjoy. If Donald and Linda just want to set it aside and bring it home with them, they can. It keeps for weeks. Since there's no liquid in this recipe, it's a butter recipe. So there's no eggs, there's no milk, there's nothing. So actually, the older this gets, the better it gets with time. This is the perfect thing to ship. I've got some that's being shipped out to a cattle company that has been such a blessing to me. It's sitting on my table over there, and it just keeps. So this is the perfect thing to gift someone or to mail. And I have got just my whole dinner here. And before I leave, I will probably fill out a card or whatever. When Jimmy's mother died a few years ago, Linda brought over some chicken for us. She texted me and said, "Can I bring anything?" And I said, "You know, we would love some fried chicken." And it was so funny. She brought it over. We were all at Jimmy's mother's. And she said, "Donald said, whatever you do, don't bring them fried chicken." Because when her daddy died, and that's when I met her mother for the first time, and really the only time at that funeral, Linda said that they got fried chicken coming out of their ears, that they didn't ever think they wanted another piece of fried chicken again. And that's all we wanted. It's just kind of funny, but fried chicken feeds the masses. You can leave it out for a little while and people can go back to it. So it's always a good thing. But I'm bringing chicken, but not in the fried version. So I think they'll like it. I texted Linda and said, you know, "Do you like chicken Alfredo?" And she said they love it. So I think it's going to be a good thing. Now, real quick, before I close out, I want to let you know that I will be going live again yesterday. Many of you know or watched yesterday. I shared a little bit of my testimony, and FB took it down. And, you know, I really don't fault them. I know a lot of people got upset with that. I was responding to comments and it just disappeared before my eyes, and I knew what had happened. So if you commented, I'm very, very sorry that I couldn't reply or maybe didn't get a chance to read it before it disappeared. But everything's run through artificial intelligence. And you know, it just happens. I don't take it personally. It's just par for the course, y'all. Anytime you're doing live videos, they can disappear. And that's something that we all as content creators or social media chefs keep in mind. But there were so many people that reached out to me. I mean, so many that said, "Will you please share that again?" And so tomorrow, I will be sharing it again, and let's just kind of wait and see what happens with that. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'll be sharing it like I just shared it the first time, and I'm also singing. I've got a special song that blesses me every time I sing it, and I hope that it'll bless you. All right, well, I am going to go ahead and get this together. Look, I can just put it in the car, y'all, just like this. Sheet pans come in so handy. We're going to call this a sheet pan meal. And Linda is a good 45 minutes from me, so I'm going to get going, put this in the refrigerator, and we'll have that this evening. And I just want to say I love you. Thanks so much for joining me in my kitchen. I love cooking with you. I love sharing stories with you. Would you do something for me? Would you share this video? That would really bless me. Just press that like button or heart button and comment. That helps me more than you know, because FB recognizes the algorithms, and it's just a big help to me if you share, even if nobody watches it, you know? So thank you so much for doing that. I love y'all, and you're a blessing. Go be a blessing to someone today. Smile, give them a kind word. Pick up that phone. Allow your life to be interrupted for just a few minutes. I promise good will come from that. God will use it. Okay? We'll talk more about that tomorrow. Mwah. Loving kisses to you. Big hugs, and I'll see you then.